Hey you guys, it's Moonlander back with another horror movie review. And today we're going to be looking at a 2017 movie called Playing with Dolls, Havoc.
They can run. They can hide. They can fight. They can even cry. But in the end...
Okay, and from what I can tell, this is a third movie in a series about this serial killer, Havoc. Now, from watching the trailer before watching the movie, I didn't really feel that it was all that necessary to watch the first two. It just didn't strike me as one of those kinds of movies. Now, I rented this on Amazon in standard definition for $1.99. Now, this movie is written, directed, edited, and the cinematography is by a Renee Perez. Now, I thought that this was a woman, and while I was watching this movie, I thought it was much more interesting thinking that it was directed by a woman, but it's actually a man. So this movie starts off in like a tourist attraction type cavern, and it shows this big-breasted woman that's not wearing a bra walking through this cavern, being led by these notes tied up to baby dolls. And they keep leading her through this cavern, and she's picking up bundles of $100 bills as she goes. And eventually it leads her into a trap that's been orchestrated by some wealthy guy that's captured this killer and sets up these scenarios where these women are going to get killed by him, and he watches from security cameras. So of course the killer ends up escaping, and then the movie jumps to a woman that's heading to a cabin that's secluded in the woods, and her idea is that she's going to surprise her husband, who's supposed to be on a business trip, but before he comes home, he's going to do some work on this cabin they own so that they can eventually spend a weekend there. And she decides to go there without telling him so she can surprise him and they can have a weekend at this cabin. Now, while she's getting ready for him to arrive, his mistress shows up, and it becomes clear that he was actually going to spend a weekend with his mistress at this cabin. Not only does the mistress show up, so does this killer, Havoc. This is the first place he makes it to after having escaped. Okay, so the things I liked about this movie is this is the kind of movie where gory kills are the star of the movie. And this movie definitely has some gory and nasty kills in it. And I would have to say, I did think some of the filming locations made this movie a little more interesting. The cavern at the beginning was really cool looking. And then there's a lot of scenes that take place in a snowy forest. And it just made the movie more appealing, I think. And as you can expect, this movie does have bad acting in it. And it's a sort of bad acting that is entertaining in a way. So I did enjoy the acting. Okay, so the things I didn't like about this movie is I couldn't tell if the Havoc guy was just supposed to be a dude wearing a mask or if it was just a really poor makeup job, because it's clearly just a mask. I mean, you can even see the base of the mask just hanging on the front. So I'm not really sure what they're going for. Maybe it is just a guy in a mask, but I don't really think it's supposed to be. And I would have to say, after watching this guy play this Havoc killer, it actually makes you appreciate the fact that there is actually acting talent involved in being a mindless and silent killer. And this guy doesn't have it. Now, this movie contains lengthy discussions on cheating. And now, when I was watching this movie, I thought it was a woman director because of the name. And I felt like I had to psychoanalyze this woman. And now, after the movie was over and I was looking up some facts about it and saw that it was a guy, I was a little bit disappointed. But the best I can figure is this guy, made this movie for his wife because he has cheated on her, or he wants her to think that he never would and never has. And I know I didn't watch the first two movies of this series, but this movie did kind of feel like an incomplete movie. I think it only has a 78-minute running time, and you never get to see the guy that has captured this killer. He's never in the movie. All you see is his guards trying to catch this killer. And they also left out what exactly happened to the husband in this movie. I'm assuming he was murdered, but all they show is him getting punched in the face repeatedly, and the killer carries him off somewhere. And for the conclusion of the movie, it's very up in the air and definitely leaves it open for another movie in the series. So my final thoughts about this movie is, if all you need is gory kills in your horror movies, you might enjoy this one. And I will have to say, I do almost feel compelled to watch the next movie in the series, but I still don't really want to watch the first two. I looked up their IMDb pages just to see, if they had a higher or lower rating. And their IMDb ratings are very dismal, so I don't really plan on watching them. But I probably will watch the next one. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.